Hey all, David Daniel Ducker here, and today I'm talking about setting and world building. Uh, a lot of people don't understand setting and world building, so I want to clarify why you need to have a setting, what the setting's role is in your story, and then once you know that, you can execute it very easily. Okay, so as I said in my characters video, all about characters and what they are and why they're important, I will break it down and say that uh, everything in your story is a plot device. It has to serve your plot. It has to take the reader on this emotional journey. I'll use the same Stephen King quote again, where he said that a lot of people get so caught up in what their story is that they forget what a story does. And what a story does is it entertains. It's a vehicle for entertainment. So everything has to serve that purpose. Your characters, your setting, your plot, your pacing, your prose, everything is there to entertain effectively and efficiently. So the role of the setting, what is that? The setting is just the backdrop. It's a facilitator. It allows your characters to exist, and it allows them to impact the plot. It allows the plot to exist and facilitates the plot to move forward. So it is a servant. Your setting is a servant of both the plot and the characters. It is less important than your plot and your characters, because you're going to get a lot more entertainment value from the plot and from the characters than you'll ever get from the setting. Some people will like the setting, and the setting itself will entertain them. Star Wars, Star Trek, Westeros, Lord of the Rings. There are a ton of worlds that are very rich and detailed and can provide some level of entertainment all by themselves, but without a narrative to tie them together, or without a narrative for the audience to follow, they just kind of bounce off of it. It's too much, it's too big, it's not united, it's not tied together, it's not packaged in a way that they can absorb. So that's what your plot is. Your plot allows them to absorb the setting in a logical way in bite-sized pieces. And the characters are why they care in the first place. Because even if you have a story and even if you have a setting, without the characters, it's like reading a textbook, a history textbook, a fictional history. And people don't even read real history. There's like real life places that are super interesting, and nobody cares to learn about them. Just like as a plot, there's real life historical events that are modern events that are super interesting, and nobody cares to learn about them. But we attach to characters that will carry us through these things. Just look at celebrity culture, and that will tell you like everything you need to know about the role of characters. So with that context established, that we need plot and we need characters. So then why do we need a setting? What do we need a setting for? It's a facilitator. It's a medium. It is a neutral body for everything to swim and to pass through. So build your setting. I build my setting last. You don't have to do that, but for me, it's the third most important thing. So I build it like basically last. I'll start with my plot, and I'll say, after I have my plot, what characters do I need to tell this story? What characters will follow through with this story? And then I build them. And then once I have the plot and the characters, I can ask, what setting would facilitate this story into existence? And what setting would allow these characters to exist? And that gives me a big picture view of the setting. And then the last thing is, how can I now keep adding things to the setting for entertainment value, because you do want to get entertainment value out of the setting. It's just not very important. It shouldn't be your focus, your main focus, because it's easy to write 1,000 pages about your setting, but if that never gets communicated to the audience, you've wasted your time. So see where your journey is going through and what characters are going through it, and then spruce up and paint and build and craft all those areas that you know will be featured in your story. And you can extrapolate to some degree if you want to, but always keep in mind the audience and why you are building the setting is to entertain the audience. If the audience is never going to see part of your setting, then building it is a waste of your time, largely. You can have subtext, which is very valuable, in addition to context, which is even more valuable. But subtext will only carry you so far. It's not super necessary. Fewer people will pick up on it anyways. So I just would advise you to be efficient and think about your end goal and the tools you need to achieve that end goal. The setting is one of those tools, but it needs to fit the other ones to be utilized effectively and efficiently. So if your story involves the military, you're going to build a lot of the setting of your world in that avenue. You'll know a lot about the military of your world. If your story involves science, then maybe you'll learn all about the science of your world and the educational institutions and the research institutes and things like that. But you might not know anything about the military because it's not important to your story, so why develop it? And conversely, in the military story, you don't need to know very much about the education and the universities and think tanks. You just don't need that for your story, so why bother to develop the setting in that area? So I think that's all I have to say. I think those are pretty good illustrations. Let me know in the comments below what you think, because I know a lot of you will disagree with me. So go ahead and disagree with me so that anybody watching will have a well-rounded view of the topic and do a video response. Do you think setting is the most important thing? You should spend all of your time on setting, and then after you've built this really intricate world and you've spent 1,000 hours writing 10,000 pages, and then you can say, now it's time to make my characters, and now it's time to make my plot. If you think that, then comment that, because someone will agree with you, and someone's doing that and it's working for them. I don't think it's the most efficient way to go about things. But if you do, then tell us why and how to do it that way, and how to find efficiencies in that style, even if it's not the most efficient style. So I look forward to any responses or comments. I do love world building. I just also hate wasting my own time. So teach me, because I want to learn just as much as I want to ramble and try to be educational. I'm going to sign off now because I am rambling. Until I see you again, David Daniel Ducker. You guys have a good day.